Have you ever felt as though you were steering a ship through a raging storm? The harder we try to control everything, work, relationships, life itself, the more chaos seems to rise against us. We draw up meticulous plans, attempt to govern every minor detail, yet disappointment inevitably crashes down. But what if I told you that true strength does not lie in mastering all things, but in mastering your own calm? Let us embark on a journey to uncover the extraordinary power hidden within serenity, a steadfast foundation upon which trials are transformed into triumphs. 1. Inner strength surpasses adversity. No circumstance can defeat a resolute spirit. When facing adversity, our first instinct is often to try to change the external conditions. We strive to control what happens, resist misfortune, and hope the world will bend to our will. Yet Stoic philosophy, born thousands of years ago, reveals a simple but profound truth. It is not circumstances that harm us, but how we respond to them. The story of Admiral James Stockdale, a U.S. Navy pilot, stands as a vivid testament to this truth. Captured during the Vietnam War, he endured 7 years under the harshest conditions of imprisonment. Beatings, isolation, and brutal torture were beyond his control. But Stockdale accomplished something rare. He mastered his own inner response. He trusted in the Stoic teachings he had studied, particularly the wisdom of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Stockdale refused to become a victim of circumstance. He did not allow fear, anger, or despair to conquer his mind. Instead of surrendering or denying the painful reality, he accepted it as inevitable and focused his energy on what remained within his control: his attitude, his spirit, and his personal dignity. It was this inner mastery that enabled him not only to survive but to preserve his honor and to inspire his fellow prisoners. The lesson from Stockdale is not merely one of courage, but a foundational guide on harnessing inner strength to overcome adversity. In daily life, we too encounter countless situations beyond our control: professional failures, relational losses, illness, or even larger upheavals such as economic crises or natural disasters. Each time, we stand before two paths: to let circumstances defeat us, or to fortify our inner citadel and respond with clarity and steadfastness. Inner fortitude does not come from denying hardship or pretending all is well. It arises from acknowledging reality as it is, accepting what cannot be changed, and channeling all our strength into mastering what we can: our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. Stoic philosophy further teaches that adversity is not an enemy, but a teacher. The trials, failures, and pains we endure are, in truth, opportunities to forge ourselves, to refine our character, and to grow more resilient. Just as fire tempers gold, adversity tempers the soul, revealing hidden reserves of strength. When we shift our perspective from "Why is this happening to me?" to "How can I grow through this?" our entire relationship with life transforms. Each encounter with hardship becomes a chance to step back, observe our emotions with detachment, and choose to respond with reasoned intent. A strong inner life is not built on tranquil days. It is forged in moments of pain, when all seems to collapse, and yet we stand firm. This strength is not rigidity or coldness, but a supple resilience, a faithful adherence to one's values, no matter how the winds of fate may shift. The truth is, we cannot control all that life hurls at us, but we can always control how we receive it. And it is this capacity, the ability to maintain calm, clarity, and patience, that ultimately determines our long-term success or failure. If we wish to remain unshaken in the face of adversity, the most crucial practice is daily cultivation of the inner life. even before the storms arrive. The habit of mastering our thoughts, keeping the mind clear, and responding with deliberate intent will form a foundation strong enough not merely to survive, but to thrive in any circumstance. 2. Calmness, the secret weapon of the successful. In the pivotal moments of life, the ability to remain calm often determines the line between success and failure. The most accomplished individuals, from elite athletes to outstanding business leaders, share one trait in common. They do not let fleeting emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they maintain composure, assess situations accurately, and make sound decisions. A vivid illustration of this can be seen in Formula One drivers during heart-pounding races. When a car skids at a sharp corner, instinct might trigger panic, jerking the steering wheel or slamming the brakes too hard. But the winner is not the one overtaken by emotion. The winner is the one who keeps a cool head, adjusts the wheel precisely, and steers the car safely back on course. In that split second, calmness not only saves lives, but also paves the way to victory. Modern neuroscience also explains why calmness is so crucial. When stress and negative emotions take over, the brain's amygdala, the center of instinctual response, activates, pushing us into fight or flight mode. In this state, reasoning and logical analysis are severely impaired. By contrast, when we stay calm, we engage the prefrontal cortex, the center for decision-making, control, and higher-order thinking. This biological truth confirms what the ancient Stoic philosophers long asserted: the calm mind acts with greater wisdom. In today's business world, this truth is equally clear. When markets swing wildly, the successful investor is not the one reacting out of fear or greed, but the one who restrains instinct, objectively analyzes the situation, and makes decisions rooted in principle, not impulse. Calmness serves as a steadfast shield, protecting us from rash, misguided choices under pressure. Stoic philosophy has long emphasized the importance of mastering emotions in every situation. As Marcus Aurelius observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that no matter how chaotic the external world seems, we can preserve our inner calm, acting with clarity and effectiveness. A practical strategy recommended by Stoic sages is to practice recognizing emotions the moment they arise. When anger, anxiety, or fear begins to surface, instead of reacting immediately, we pause, observe, and ask, does this emotion truly serve me in this situation? That brief moment of reflection, even just a few seconds, is enough to shift from impulsive reaction to deliberate action. In the real world, the ability to stay calm grants advantages far beyond good decision-making. A calm individual often earns the trust, responsibility, and esteem of others. In a tense meeting, when arguments escalate and tempers flare, the one who remains composed becomes a psychological anchor for the entire group. They do not need to raise their voice to command respect. Their steady presence naturally exerts positive influence. Calmness also fosters patience, attentive listening, and empathy, critical elements for building lasting relationships, both professionally and personally. The successful understand that immediate action is not always necessary. Sometimes the greatest strategy is to listen in silence, to wait for the right moment, to master the instinct for instant reaction. Ultimately, calmness is not a passive or weak state. On the contrary, it is a powerful expression of inner strength and true wisdom. When we learn to remain calm in the face of adversity, we not only act with greater discernment, but also cultivate self-mastery, one of the essential virtues of enduring success. 3. You can't control everything, and that's okay. One of the deepest sources of frustration and suffering in life is the illusion that we can control everything around us. From work outcomes, the emotions of others, to massive societal shifts, many people try to manipulate forces beyond their grasp. When things do not go as they wish, they feel powerless, disappointed, even despairing. Yet Stoic philosophy, taught for millennia, points to a fundamental truth. Some things in life are within our control, and some are not, and that is not a problem. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." What lies within our control includes our thoughts, actions, attitudes, and choice. What lies beyond includes the weather, the economy, the attitudes of others, and even the final outcome of our own efforts. By understanding this boundary, we can focus our energy where it truly matters and release the anxiety tied to what lies beyond our reach. In practice, trying to control the uncontrollable is like trying to grasp water with your bare hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Only by accepting that water flows according to its own laws can we learn to harness it rather than exhaust ourselves resisting it. A simple yet powerful technique for practicing this discernment is to ask, "Is this within my control?" Each time we face a challenge, if the answer is no, we must learn to let go, accept, and recalibrate our expectations. If the answer is yes, we must channel our full effort into acting rightly within our capacity. In daily life, this principle applies in countless ways. We cannot control whether colleagues are friendly to us, but we can control how we treat them. We cannot guarantee that every project will succeed, but we can control the diligence and care we bring to our work. We cannot halt the sweeping changes of society, but we can control how we adapt and continue to move forward. Accepting that we cannot always control the outcome also helps relieve anxiety and pressure. When our goal shifts from "I must succeed" to "I must do my best," we free ourselves from the crushing weight of unrealistic expectations. This does not mean abandoning effort or becoming passive. On the contrary, it allows us to act with greater focus, unburdened by distractions beyond our command. Stoic philosophy also offers a powerful mental exercise called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. By routinely envisioning potential losses, failures, or unexpected changes, we ready our minds to face them if they arise. When misfortune comes, instead of being stunned or enraged, we can meet it with calm preparedness. Another practice is the controlled chaos day. Once a week, deliberately refrain from meticulous planning and allow events to unfold naturally. By confronting small uncertainties, we learn to adapt swiftly, to accept the unexpected without confusion or irritation. Over time, this flexibility becomes second nature, strengthening us for life's greater upheavals. Recognizing that we cannot control everything is also the foundation of patience and forgiveness. When we realize that everyone is struggling with forces beyond their will, we find it easier to extend empathy and understanding to others. Likewise, we become more forgiving toward ourselves when things do not unfold perfectly. True freedom does not come from bending the world to our will, but from freeing ourselves from the need to control the uncontrollable. When we achieve this, we experience not only relief and inner peace, but also a sharper, more resilient mind, ready to navigate the inevitable tides of life. 4. Gratitude, the wellspring of inner strength. In the modern world, where pressures and expectations continually escalate, it is easy to fall into dissatisfaction, anxiety, and disillusionment. The more we chase, the more we tend to focus on what is missing rather than cherish what we already have. Stoic philosophy long ago pointed to a simple yet powerful antidote to this restless state: gratitude. According to Stoic sages like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, gratitude is not merely a fleeting positive feeling, but a deliberate practice of the mind. Seneca emphasized, "It is not happiness that makes us grateful, but gratitude that makes us happy." This implies that our internal state is not the product of external circumstances, but the result of how we choose to perceive life. Modern neuroscience has also confirmed the power of gratitude for mental health. Research from the University of California, Berkeley, shows that daily gratitude practice helps rewire the brain, reducing activity in stress-related regions and strengthening areas responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. In other words, gratitude truly fortifies us and sharpens our minds for the challenges of life. Practicing gratitude daily does not require grand gestures. Sometimes it is enough to pause for a few minutes each morning and acknowledge 3 things we are grateful for. Whether it be the warmth of sunlight, a fragrant morning coffee, or a friendly greeting. This small habit, maintained consistently, gradually cultivates a positive and resilient inner life against the turbulence of existence. Stoic philosophy also teaches that gratitude should not be reserved only for pleasant experiences, but extended to adversity as well. Marcus Aurelius, in his writings, reminded himself to be thankful even for those who angered him, for they provided opportunities to practice patience and forgiveness. By finding a lesson or value in every situation, even hardship, we transform every experience into material for personal growth. One reason gratitude becomes such a profound source of inner strength is that it shifts the focus of our attention. Instead of being consumed by what we lack, what we have not yet achieved, or what we have lost, we train ourselves to see what is present, what is working. This creates a steady psychological state that sustains motivation and clarity, even in moments of failure or hardship. Gratitude also enhances emotional resilience. Those who practice gratitude regularly tend to recover more quickly from emotional shocks because they have a firm inner foundation to hold on to. Knowing that life still holds countless good things, even in the darkest times, prevents us from sinking into despair. Gratitude practice also profoundly impacts our relationships. When we regularly express appreciation toward others, even with a simple thank you, we strengthen bonds of trust, connection, and lasting affection. Human beings crave recognition and the feeling of being valued, and gratitude acts as a bridge that reinforces strong and healthy relationships. Ultimately, sustaining gratitude nurtures humility, recognizing that many blessings in life come not solely from personal effort, but also from the kindness, support, and fortune given by others. We cultivate a spirit of respect toward life and those around us. When gratitude becomes a way of living, we are no longer easily swept away by dissatisfaction and resentment. Instead, we forge an inner life that is strong, peaceful, and luminous, fulfilling the Stoic ideal. A life of autonomy, resilience, and wholeness from within. 5. Patience, the silent strength. In a world shaped by speed, where everything urges immediacy and rapid response, patience seems almost an out-of-place virtue. Yet for those who deeply understand the nature of growth and success, patience is one of the most enduring and solid sources of strength. Stoic philosophy teaches that every meaningful process in life demands time. Trees do not grow overnight, nor can inner character or true achievements be forged in an instant. Those who grasp this truth learn to wait, to cultivate day by day, without haste and without surrendering, when results do not appear immediately. Patience does not mean passivity or resignation. On the contrary, it is an active state of mind. The patient individual does not sit idly by hoping for miracles, but continues to act steadily and persistently. Even when visible results are absent, they understand that every small step taken today, though seemingly insignificant, quietly lays the foundation for future success. In personal relationships, patience plays a vital role. Every person carries wounds, limitations, and blind spots. Not everyone can change or grow instantly, simply because others wish it. The patient individual learns to listen, to understand, and to give others the space and time they need to adjust and evolve at their own pace. In work, patience manifests as the ability to endure small failures on the journey toward larger goals. Those who achieve lasting success are often the ones who withstand difficult periods and remain steadfast when progress appears elusive. Rather than scrambling for shortcuts, they methodically build a strong foundation, knowing that any great accomplishment demands persistent effort. Stoic philosophy also reveals that patience is a form of self-mastery. When provoked, the impatient are easily swept into anger and rash decisions. Meanwhile, the patient maintain their composure, granting themselves the necessary pause to assess the situation wisely and act more prudently. Another crucial aspect of patience is accepting that some outcomes lie beyond our control. By recognizing that not everything unfolds according to our preferred timeline, we free ourselves from rigid expectations and learn to adapt flexibly to reality. This flexibility is what allows us to sustain long-term motivation and faith, rather than sinking into frustration when events stray off course. Patience also underpins the cultivation of skills and personal development. No one becomes a master after a few days of practice. Great artists, elite athletes, and exceptional leaders alike understand that reaching the pinnacle requires thousands of hours of effort, learning from mistakes, and steadily improving step by step. A useful exercise for nurturing patience is focusing on the processes rather than the outcome. Instead of obsessing over what we have achieved, we place attention on how consistently and diligently we take each small step. When we find joy in the process itself, we reduce anxiety and pressure tied to results while sustaining long-term commitment. Ultimately, patience allows us to view failure not as an end, but as a natural part of the journey. Every stumble, every delay becomes an opportunity to learn, adjust, and advance. True growth does not emerge from easy victories, but from how we respond to challenges and setbacks when they arise. By cultivating patience, we not only become more resilient in the face of trials, but also accumulate a silent, enduring strength that propels us much farther than those who merely chase after immediate results. 6. Rest, the act of the wise. In modern life, where productivity is glorified as the hallmark of success, many fall into the trap of relentless work, believing that the more they do, the busier they are, the more they prove their worth. Yet Stoic philosophy and modern science alike reveal that rest is not a sign of weakness, but the wise strategy of those who truly understand. Seneca, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, once compared the human mind to a sword. If used continuously without rest and sharpening, the blade dulls and weakens. Similarly, our minds and bodies require renewal through deliberate periods of rest. No one can maintain peak clarity, focus, and emotional control while endlessly depleting their some energy without allowing time for recovery. Modern neuroscience confirms that sleep and intentional relaxation are vital for memory consolidation, enhanced problem solving, and emotional regulation. When body and mind are well rested, the prefrontal cortex, the center of reason and decision-making, functions more effectively, enabling wiser choices and stronger emotional self-mastery. Practical strategies to optimize rest include reducing screen time before sleep, establishing consistent evening routines, and listening to the body's signals. Exposure to blue light from phones and tablets at night disrupts natural sleep cycles, making it harder to enter deep, restorative sleep. Instead, cultivating habits like reading, light meditation, or journaling before bed prepares the mind for restful recovery. Beyond nighttime sleep, short breaks during the day, a walk outdoors, a few minutes of mindful breathing, or simply closing the eyes for brief relaxation play a crucial role in sustaining long-term performance. These moments of pause allow the nervous system to rebalance, reducing accumulated stress and refreshing mental energy. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that the aim of life is not to work oneself to exhaustion, but to act with effectiveness, intention, and meaning. Timely rest is an essential part of sustaining that effectiveness. The wise do not measure their worth by the number of hours worked, but by their mastery of self, including knowing when to advance and when to pause. Rest also fosters creativity. When the mind is no longer forced into constant problem solving, it finds space to forge new connections and discover solutions that stress had obscured. Many great inventions in history did not emerge from frantic toil, but surfaced during moments of ease when the mind could wander freely. Rest is also an act of respect for the body and mind, the only instruments through which we achieve any goal. Great accomplishments demand long-term endurance, and endurance is impossible without rest as a vital component. In a world that constantly pushes for faster and more, knowing how to rest at the right time is not just a skill, it is an act of courage. Courage to reject the illusion that burnout equals success. Courage to choose a sustainable path over short-term speed. When we learn to rest consciously and deliberately, we protect our mental and physical health, sustain clarity, preserve patience, and maintain calm in the face of life's challenges. Rest, therefore, is not a cessation, but a vital stepping stone for continuing the journey, stronger and more enduringly. 7. Breath, the bridge between mind and body. Breathing is one of the most natural human functions, yet it is often overlooked in modern life. We breathe all day without realizing that through our breath, we hold a direct tool to control our mental and emotional state. Stoic philosophy recognized long ago the importance of mastering the breath to maintain calm amid life's upheavals. When faced with pressure, stress, or agitation, the body instinctively responds with rapid, shallow breathing, activating the sympathetic nervous system, the center of the fight or flight response. As a result, heart rate accelerates, blood pressure rises, muscles tense, and the mind grows restless, making impulsive and uncontrolled actions more likely. Conversely, when we consciously slow and deepen our breathing, the parasympathetic nervous system is engaged, bringing the body back to a state of relaxation, steadying the heart rate, lowering blood pressure, and calming brain activity. This is why breath is often called the direct bridge between body and mind. By mastering our breath, we master our emotions and actions. A simple yet effective technique recommended by many scientists and mental health experts is the 4-7-8 breathing method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly over 8 seconds. Practicing this technique regularly, especially before high-pressure moments, such as important meetings, public speaking, or major decisions, helps reset the nervous system, reduces emotional reactivity, and strengthens rational judgment. Moreover, breath awareness creates a vital pause between stimulus and response, a space in which we can choose our reaction deliberately instead of being driven by emotion. In everyday situations, this pause may last only a second or two, but it is enough to completely alter the outcome of our actions, allowing us to respond with calm, wisdom, and intention. Beyond regulating emotional reactions, focusing on the breath helps cultivate presence, the ability to live fully in the current moment. When the mind is entangled in worries about the future or regrets about the past, bringing attention back to the breath anchors us to the present, the only place where action and change are possible. By maintaining steady attention on the natural rhythm of breathing, the mind gradually settles, unnecessary distractions and anxieties diminish, and a stable mental foundation is formed. This is also the basis of mindfulness meditation practices now widely applied to enhance mental health and concentration. One need not spend hours each day training. Short moments, just a few minutes focusing on the breath before starting work, or pausing for deep breaths during stressful hours, can make a significant difference in mental state. Over time, controlling the breath becomes second nature, allowing us to maintain composure even under intense pressure. In Stoic philosophy, self-mastery is not about eradicating emotion, but about recognizing and steering it wisely. And breath is the simplest yet most powerful key to open that door, helping us cultivate an inner life that is resilient, calm, and purposefully engaged with life's challenges. 8. Silence, the space for clarity. In a modern world flooded with noise and distraction, silence has become a rare luxury. The noise comes not only from the physical environment, traffic, electronic devices, but also from the relentless stream of information, opinions, demands, and countless sources of disruption. Stoic philosophy has long emphasized that, to maintain clarity and inner control, we must seek out and cherish moments of silence. Silence is not emptiness or laziness. It is a precious space where the mind reorganizes itself, where chaotic thoughts settle, and where deeper insights are allowed to emerge. When constantly swept along by the currents of thought and information, the mind falls into a reactive mode, handling only the immediate and urgent, losing the ability to think deeply or perceive matters comprehensively. In such a state, sound decision-making deteriorates, creativity is stifled, and mental fatigue steadily accumulates. Conversely, when we retreat into silence, the mind is freed from the pressure to react incessantly. It is within that quiet that deeper thoughts, new connections, and creative solutions have room to appear. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius practiced dedicating time each day to inner stillness. In his meditations, he recorded his reflections not for public sharing, but as a private dialogue with himself. This practice not only helped him filter his mind, but also preserved his mental stability amidst the pressures and chaos of the empire he ruled. Through this, Marcus Aurelius showed that silence is not passivity, but an active discipline to maintain awareness and self-mastery. Practicing silence in modern life does not require retreating from the world or abandoning daily responsibilities. It can be as simple as setting aside 10 to 30 minutes each day without interacting with electronic devices, absorbing new information, or engaging in conversation. Simply sitting quietly, walking slowly, or writing down one's thoughts. In those moments, we allow the mind to naturally reorganize experiences, to resolve inner conflicts that busy life often conceals. Another benefit of consciously seeking silence is the enhancement of self-awareness. When not overwhelmed by external noise, we can better hear the inner voice, our true emotions, deep-seated beliefs, and hidden conflicts we often avoid. This self-knowledge is crucial for personal growth, because only by accurately perceiving our inner state can we hope to adjust and improve it. Additionally, silence helps build resilience against psychological discomfort. Many people feel uneasy in silence because it forces them to face unresolved thoughts and feelings. Yet by consistently practicing daily silence, we gradually strengthen the inner capacity to accept and transcend these discomforts, rather than fleeing into distraction. In Stoic philosophy, true strength is not found in the loudest or fastest to react, but in the one who can maintain calm and clarity even when the world around them is in turmoil. Silence is the ground where such virtues are cultivated. When we actively seek and honor moments of quiet, we not only enhance our concentration, creativity, and self-awareness, but also fortify an inner stronghold, one that remains steadfast amid the unpredictable storms of the external world. 9. Positive visualization. Building the future with the mind. The human mind holds a unique ability. It does not fully distinguish between vivid imagined experiences and real ones. This was emphasized by Stoic philosophy thousands of years ago, and today, neuroscience confirms that what we consistently visualize in the mind gradually shapes how we think, feel, and act in reality. By consciously crafting positive images in the mind, we can forge a stronger future, enhancing our self-mastery and resilience against adversity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said that people are not disturbed by events, but by their perception of those events. Expanding on this principle, it becomes clear that visualizing success or effective responses to challenges is a way to mentally prepare and train our reactions before those events actually occur. When we vividly and specifically envision ourselves facing difficulties, maintaining calm, and choosing the right actions, we create a mental map that helps the mind become familiar with positive behavior even under real stress. Neuroscience shows that visualizing an action activates the same brain regions as physically performing it. Elite athletes, successful leaders, and high achievers across fields use visualization as a key part of their preparation. By continuously imagining desired outcomes and the processes to achieve them, they reprogram their minds toward actions aligned with their goals. Practicing positive visualization must be intentional. Rather than vaguely wishing for good results, we need to dedicate time each day to close our eyes, breathe deeply, and vividly imagine specific scenarios. Ourselves resolving a difficult argument with calmness, completing a high-pressure project with sharp focus, or overcoming a personal challenge with patience and determination. The clearer the visualization and the more positive emotions we can evoke, the more powerful the mental programming becomes. Another crucial aspect of positive visualization is balancing optimism with realistic preparation. Stoic philosophy does not encourage denial of hardship or wishful dreaming, but stresses readiness to face reality with fortitude. Thus, in our visualizations, we must not only envision success, but also anticipate obstacles, picturing how we will endure and overcome them with patience and calm. In this way, visualization becomes a tool for strengthening adaptability and inner resilience, not a means of escaping reality. Practicing positive visualization also sustains long-term motivation. During difficult phases when real-world results have not yet materialized, recalling the mental image of our goal helps maintain persistence and prevents premature surrender. The image of ourselves succeeding, calm, steadfast in the face of trials, becomes a silent but enduring source of strength, lifting us through the moments when discouragement threatens. Moreover, consistently engaging in positive visualization shapes how we perceive the world around us. When the mind becomes accustomed to focusing on possibilities rather than obstacles, we more easily spot opportunities within difficulties. This not only changes how we approach life, but also sharpens decision-making and expands our range of effective actions in reality. In Stoic philosophy, mentally preparing for challenges through visualization is not a waste of time, but an essential discipline for cultivating self-mastery and inner fortitude. When the mind is trained to visualize and aim deliberately toward positive outcomes, we step into life's realities with greater calm, confidence, and readiness for whatever changes the world may bring. 10. Act, don't react, choosing action over emotional impulse. In Stoic philosophy, self-mastery is regarded as the essential foundation of a strong and fulfilled life. One of the clearest expressions of self-mastery is the ability to choose action deliberately rather than react automatically to external events. This ability not only determines the quality of our relationships and careers, but also profoundly affects our peace and inner strength. In daily life, it is easy to slip into automatic reactions. When criticized, many immediately respond with anger. When faced with failure, common reactions include sadness, insecurity, or blame. These reactions happen swiftly, almost without thought. rooted in defensive instincts and deeply ingrained mental habits. However, Stoicism emphasizes that human beings are not helpless victims of circumstances or emotions. We have the capacity to perceive, evaluate, and choose responses aligned with reason and higher values. Acting instead of reacting begins by creating a pause between stimulus and action. When insulted, instead of instantly retaliating with anger, the Stoic practitioner pauses, observes the surge of emotion, and asks, "Will this reaction serve my long-term purpose?" That brief pause, even if only a few seconds, marks the fundamental difference between living by instinct and living by intention. Modern neuroscience supports this view. Research shows that by allowing ourselves extra time before acting, we decrease the dominance of the brain's emotional center, the amygdala, and strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the center of rational thinking, planning, and behavioral control. This means that each time we consciously choose our response, rather than react impulsively, we not only act more wisely, but also reinforce our neurological capacity for self-mastery. Acting proactively does not mean suppressing emotions or denying reality. It means acknowledging emotions as they arise, but not letting them dictate our final actions. The proactive individual understands that emotions are sources of information, not commands. They use emotions to gain deeper insights into themselves and their situations, but always let reason and personal values guide their behavior. In the workplace, the ability to act rather than react is a critical factor in achieving lasting success. A good leader does not merely handle crises effectively. They proactively anticipate risks, prepare contingencies, and remain composed when crises unfold. In personal relationships, those who respond with understanding instead of reacting impulsively build lasting trust and respect. An effective practice to cultivate proactivity is to ask before acting, "Does what I'm about to do reflect the person I aspire to become?" This question reminds us that every action, however small, shapes who we are becoming. By becoming acutely aware of our responsibility for each action, we gradually form the habit of living proactively, living by values, not by fleeting emotions. Stoic philosophy also encourages mental preparation for challenges by envisioning potential hardships beforehand. By doing so, when adversity actually strikes, we already have a proactive response plan, rather than being caught off guard and reacting in panic. This preparation is not about controlling every outcome, but about ensuring that even amid uncertainty, we can act with clarity, composure, and resolve. In a world of constant change where external forces shift unpredictably and challenges loom unexpectedly, those who can proactively govern their reactions retain mastery over their lives. They refuse to let circumstances define who they are. Instead, they use every situation, whether favorable or difficult, as an opportunity to express their character, wisdom, and inner strength. On the path of self-mastery, I have realized that the greatest changes do not come from grand resolutions, but from small actions repeated day after day. Stoicism does not demand that we become extraordinary beings overnight. It simply asks that each day we choose to remain calm one more time, to control our emotions one more time, and to act with deliberate intent one more time. I began with the smallest steps. Each morning, before picking up my phone, I would sit quietly for a few minutes, breathing deeply and envisioning a day where I would meet every situation with calm. When faced with something upsetting, instead of reacting immediately, I trained myself to pause and ask, Is this truly worth losing my composure over? Most of the time, the answer was no. I also practiced daily gratitude by writing down 3 things I was thankful for each evening, whether the day had gone smoothly or not. This simple habit helped steer my mind toward the positive and sustain inner strength in the face of challenges. Most importantly, I learned to accept that much in life lies beyond my control. The only thing I truly govern is how I think, feel, and act. By applying these principles to daily life, I no longer felt pushed around by circumstances. I began to walk more steadily, more intentionally, and with greater peace, no matter how the world outside might change. If today's message resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future reflections. Let's build together an unshakable spirit, a resolute will, and a free soul, no matter what challenges the world may bring. Because in the end, the true victor is not the strongest, but the one who maintains their peace amid the storm. See you in the next video.